Welcome to Under the Hood, from Beyond the Bottom Line. This is where we step inside the company and talk through the real experiences behind the work. Today, Miguel and Ashton discuss stories and lessons learned from events, including how it's better to be less formal and more relaxed and conversational. Here's Miguel.
Hi, thank you for joining today's episode. Today I'm joined by Centurion's very own Director of Client Experience, Ashton Shonana. We're going to talk about events and what we do to engage with our clients, our team, and prospects out in the market. Ashton, great to have you on.
Yeah, I'm excited. This will be an eventful one.
Yeah, I get it. Horrible.
I don't know if I like that one.
So King of Dad Jokes here, Ashton. Talk about the last event we were at. Tell me what went well. Tell me what we did.
Oh, man, that's my favorite event that we do every year. It's now an annual thing where we get together with a lot of different business owners, firm owners in the accounting space, where we get what used to be a small Airbnb now into a massive mansion with, 20 folks staying under one roof. We go skiing and snowboarding all day. At night, we eat dinners together. We powwow. We party. We have Michael Lee DJing for us while we're all dancing, being dumb.
DJ Chow.
Yeah, DJ Chow. It's just a way to get a lot closer with folks. And, when you ski with someone or snowboard with someone, man, you get a lot closer to them. And hey, you're stuck on chairlifts not stuck. You're on chairlifts. You get to be on chairlifts with them as well.
They're stuck with you.
They're stuck with me, but I'm going to keep talking. So they are stuck with me. But no, you can learn insights. Like I ask them about problems I'm having, about challenges that I'm coming up with to get their perspective. Because I'll be honest, half the world's probably smarter than me. So I'm trying to learn during that. But also that's where you build business connections, and that's where you can actually we got a few leads already from just this weekend's trip. So it was really fun. And we doubled it down with Utah Tech Week because it happened to be the same week as this. So we did a panel over there. We had a bunch of prospects come. I have a meeting with one next week. So it was a very productive trip.
What made the week so special?
Not having to get my kids ready for daycare. I'm kidding. Honestly, what made it special was just how close everyone is now. On paper, technically we're competitors, right? Yeah. But when we get together, no one cares at all about that. We just want to make sure that, one, we're having fun, we're enjoying each other's company, but two, that we're helping each other. It's a really unique event where we all get together and everyone genuinely cares about everyone else's success, and everyone genuinely wants to help each other get better at what they do.
Yeah, I would say that I think in the past we'd done things where we had formal topics, and there was kind of a methodology to talk about things, and it kind of felt really forced. And Marissa was saying, she's like, I don't like that, because I think if there's anything really important, you can talk about it on the chair. Or you can kind of build that trust and bond that if you want to talk about it later, you can set something up, and now you've got the camaraderie and, trust that when you talk again, it's going to be open and honest and specific to what you're actually working on, versus putting something out to a full group. Half of them are listening, half of them want to get back to, the hot tub or whatever it is. So it kind of changed my thinking on, conferences and masterminds and things, that actually having a time where you get away and we're not going to mastermind, we're not going to problem solve. It was better towards that same objective. So I'll share with you, in the hot tub with a few other firm owners who'd sold their business, learned more about EBITDA multiples and rolling equity and a path to wealth as a business owner that, I've been to those conferences. I've been to the private equity events. I've talked to private equity buyers. I've talked to people who are doing their roll-ups, and you get very much to the headline, but there's something about the hot tub that just kind of melts away all the conditions. And it's look, I'm rich, or I was okay, wait, tell me, let's double click on that. You did what? You how many houses are you buying? All right. Maybe I need to get in on this and understand this better. So I think that's really cool. I too am very grateful for that. And let's talk more about kind of the event side, with where we met prospects out. How was Utah Tech Week for you?
Yeah, it was great, man. It started off a little slow. There wasn't that many people that came in the beginning.
Yeah, I was worried.
But the ones that I talked to were all just, I mean, our main thing is the R&D tax credit. That's what our core specialty is. So seeing a lot of people in tech come to that and having those conversations was great. That was, I had to leave a little early. So, I mean, you probably have more context on what happened after the panel, but people seemed very engaged. People seemed, really interested in the topic. And, for me, I got a couple of prospects out of it, and that's always my main goal. But how was it for you?
I think the energy of these panels are, it's the idea that, hey, we're like sharing knowledge. We had on the panel someone that had their own software development agency. We had a founder that was a VC in another life. And we had Nicole McKenty, who's, I think one of the most badass, like CFO, like how to think about your financials for investors, kind of not like think beyond the bookkeeping kind of person. And I think making a panel valuable is like, let's ask the questions that we ask in the hot tub kind of behind the scenes to kind of showcase like truth when you strip away, talking points and PowerPoints and all that. So, I mean, the fact that we're able to have those conversations with a packed out room is what keeps me doing it. And I'll share one thing. I mean, I met one woman who had driven from Idaho Falls. So she made, I don't know if it's a 3-hour drive, but she needed to drive all the way to Salt Lake City because she wants to get into VC. And, you forget about that hunger sometimes when you've been in it so long that there's people who are hungry enough. And she's a new mom.
Oh, wow.
While I was talking to her, she's like, yeah, my dad just texted me asking if I'm, when I'm getting home, he's watching my kid. And just seeing that hunger of like, and she was like, I was really excited about this event in particular. And, I came here to learn, like just that life sacrifice and that kind of hunger to be in the right room, it is really motivating. And, we introduced her to the right people. We're like, hey, if we can make an introduction to anyone in our network, like whatever you need, like, please feel free to reach out. It is really special. So beyond just like getting the prospects, I think putting out the right conversation is really important because I think oftentimes when founders are thinking about capital, they're just like raise. Talking about operator, like they know that they've got a budget to actuals. They've got to, they've obviously got to get more sales than last year. They're always turning more EBITDA than last year. But like, how are we actually talking about it? Nicole talked about some situations where like she discovered fraud. These things that don't come up in keynote speeches come up and allow owners to grow. So just from a concept, like perspective of having the right conversations, I just feel like it's the right thing to do. And I want to keep doing other Tech Week events.
Yeah, no, actually, I love that point. I mean, if that event can help someone else get their business going, get them the information that they needed to be successful, that's huge. It's almost as good as selling. So let me get her email so I can see if she has any help needs, please.
She's a little early in her journey, so she's just on the like help me out phase. But yeah, I think you're right. People remember who helped them earlier on, and it's not always about putting them in the pipeline. We'll put her on the newsletter. I think it's more important that she meets one person, learns one thing that actually helps her to start that business.
And that's why people go to conferences. That's why it's such a big, part of what we do is to get that learning. And that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's cool to hear.
And I will say, like, I think the ROI piece, running in the bar for a couple hours and seeing people connect is really awesome. I think after one of the M&A guys, and even the founder himself, is like, hey, like, I've got a client you should talk to for the R&D tax credit, and it's just really cool because it's like, all right, you still get what you're there for with a lot of positive benefits.
Renting out a bar in a town that no one drinks. It's pretty fun too.
I've never seen so many Diet Cokes on a bar tab, but I'm not complaining because those are about 50% of what a cocktail costs. So we'll definitely do it back. But I will say, for those listening who were in Salt Lake or the Utah area, Utah Tech Week was one of the most genuine, connected, outgoing event. We've gone to other ones where people kind of sit in the back and show. It was a really good event. We did get feedback that this is probably the one city where we do something other than a bar tab. Hopefully that will translate into doing bowling or something like that next year. We'll make it a good time. There you have it. That's just a flavor of what we do. If you see an event as a listener where we're in your city, we would love to have you out and we would love to meet you. And Our goal is always to create some value for you that allows you to make a change in your business. And hopefully we're doing some of that here together.
Yeah. And any event that we have, Miguel said I have an unlimited bar tab. So if anyone wants to get some drinks, you see my name or you see Tax Hack at any of these events, unlimited bar tab, right, Miguel?
Why don't you send me an email about that, Ashton? I don't remember signing off on that. All right. You can get a Diet Coke. This is where I'll leave it.